Hello, this is TDFC. How can I help you?
My name's Elizabeth from Time Watches, and I'm in a manufacturing industry. And I'm just calling about growing my business through factoring.
Okay, firstly, I'll just start by saying that our business was created so that people like yourself get a better understanding of what these products are about, how they charge, how they lock you in or non-lock you in, how they present invoicing, all those sort of factors. And because of our wealth of experience, we'll be able to find lenders that suit your business specifically. I'll just confirm to you right now that we have no upfront costs, no direct ongoing fees, and basically we're here to provide you in writing today up to 4 choices, things that'll make this a lot easier for myself and our firm. Is the more information you give us today, the better understanding we have of finding the best 4 options for you to interview over the next week or so.
Yes.
Now, you've said that you're in manufacturing. That's great. You're bringing in a product from overseas and you're looking for a trade product to probably assist you in purchasing that product from overseas, landing it here in Australia, turning it into invoicing, and thus growing your business forward. Now, I'm very happy that you've had this business for a while now, and you've got a bit of trading history. Can I ask, if I get a Pacific Debtor Finance product in place and I fix the back end cash flow with the invoicing and everything, will that take the pressure off your trade facility? The reason I ask these questions is because trade is a very sought after product and it's very hard to get. Now, obviously, there's, FOB, they fund from freight on board 6 weeks from the slow boat from China, for instance, and then when it lands here in Australia, then they've obviously charged you 2 lots of fees, a service fee and interest, till it lands in Australia. And most times their security is either property or the invoices, and then they fund the invoices and then take out the purchase order and give you what's left up to 80%. And then when the debtor pays, he pays the full 100% to the lender, and the final 20% is obviously your profit margin. Now, that's how they normally work here in Australia. And if you've got property or whatever, you can get 2 separate facilities. Now, I'm not sure where you're going, so we won't dive into that too much. Trade debtor finance consultants are experts in debtor finance, so I'm just going to focus on that first, and you're going to tell me if that scenario is going to work in the long term. Now, like all debtor finance products, they work on funding invoicing. So, depending on what type of facility you get, depends on how much they're advancing, or whether you have a right to draw down only as much as you need, or you need to get the full amount of 80%, up to 80% on every invoice. Now, most scenarios I've worked in manufacturing, they like a sort of a partnership deal where they can draw up to 80% against their debtors, but they choose how much they're drawing down each day, week, fortnight, etc. Now, obviously, if you're only drawing down smaller amounts and only the amounts you need, well, you're only paying interest on those amounts while they're outstanding. The biggest thing that people get caught up on is how much is the interest rate. The interest rate is normally around a commercial rate per annum, between 8 to 14% per annum, and really you're dictating that. People have to understand that the pricing structure of a debtor finance product is the management fee. Every time you stick an invoice in, they charge a fee for it. Now, if you can get that fee as low as possible, then that's obviously times if you did $1 million facility and they charged you 1.8%, well, that's cost you 18 grand for the year as a service fee. So if you doubled and you turned over 2 million for the year, well, it's suddenly it's cost you 36,000 for the year. So it's important that we both understand as a group how much your turnover is now and what it's going to be hypothetically if this facility works well, because there's no point setting a fee saying, hey, I'm doing $1 million, you actually do 2, and crap, I've just paid 36,000. If we say we're going to do 2 million and we only do $1 million, and they said, well, we charged you 26, they've had a win on both fronts. So we have to get our crystal ball out and be as close to the mark as we can to get the best price facility we can. Now lastly, as you would be aware, the lenders would pay the financier directly and they would be paying the full invoice values. Now obviously the lenders' computer systems and online systems will take out what you've already borrowed and put it all into the overdraft, so to speak. Now it's very hard to explain on a phone, but let's say you have a $1,000 invoice and they make available funds to you $800. Now if you drew $200 out, that's your overdraft. So you would be negative $200, obviously, as like an overdraft would be. Now, obviously, their fees and charges go on top of that, so whatever that may be, it might be, say, $300. I don't know, just hypothetically. Now, if you drawed out $200 against 10 invoices, so you had $10,000 worth of invoices, and you drew 10, the overdraft would be, $2,000. So you've got $2,000 of overdraft. Now, the first invoice gets paid, $1,000 comes back in, it goes straight off your overdraft. You're only owing $1,000 now. Now, the thing is, though, $200 of that overdraft, is part of that other invoice. So you can draw that back up and receipt it in against your MILE, because the final 20% of all the invoices, you're still getting paid. It's just off your overdraft. You're not paying interest on it anymore. You can still draw it up. So you draw the final $200 down, or you draw the final $170 down because you got charged a $30 fee on that $1,000 invoice. Bang, you receipt that into your accounting system. So it's important to know you're not getting ripped off. The money's coming in and out, in and out, in and out, and you're drawing it up and down like an overdraft. Now, we've discussed how the products work for you. So obviously what I need now is just the standard financial information. A little bit of a business plan of what you're trying to achieve, where you want to go. I've explained how these sort of systems work. So I need yourself and your partner to put their heads together, basically come up with a scenario that is best suited to you. This is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. And I will fit in the scenarios with you, put those lenders in front of you. If I need more than 4, I will definitely do it for you, because I want to make sure we get this right from the start. Now, if you are adamant that you need a trade debtor finance facility, obviously specialist lenders deal with that. So what I will do is at least put 2 of those in front of you, and probably another 2 that are pure there to do the back end. And they'll have obviously all their references and everything. Can you interview them nice and slowly and steadily, and get all the questions, tick all the boxes, and then we know we're going forward in the right direction. Now, once I've got all that information from you, I need a copy of an invoice, aged debtors, creditors, P&L, A&Ls if you've got them. If you're online, samples of your product, the ins and outs of the product, if there's returns, breakages, all that sort of stuff. Now, we want to cross all the T's in manufacturing so that, there's no stone unturned, so that we make sure we've got 100% right. Once I've got all that information, I'll put the lenders in front of you. You'll be introduced to them, you'll meet with them, whatever the case scenario. You'll go through those lenders and make sure they're right for you. Now, if you pick one out of them in particular and go forward, then you'll be supplying and dealing with them direct. That's not to say we're out of the loop. We are here in the background. Any questions, any things that you need clarifying with their systems or their back-end procedures, please ring us. We'll help you and assist you in it. We'll also stay here for the life of the loan. So maybe it goes like clockwork and you're with the facility. In 4 months' time, things start to happen. A couple of debtors drop off, or you start doubling in size and you want to readdress fee structures, and something happens internally within your business, and when your partners wants to move on, run all those scenarios through us. We can be the third wheel. Again, this is at no cost to you, so this is part of our service. We can contact the client and the lender, and we can liaise between both of you and make sure that you get a favourable outcome, I should say. If it's not a favourable outcome, then we can address where do we go from here? What are we going to do? How are we going to get out? Is there someone else that can help us, etc., etc. So I look forward to seeing all that information in front of us. I hope that today's phone calls gave you more knowledge and insight into the business, and I look forward to getting your return email and moving forward. Thank you very much for your time.